give him a couple more minutes and so.
Where's the one other guy?
Sukkot. Well, first of all, Sukkot is Gematria 91. And I live at 91 Rashi, so that's already a good sign.
the right place.
It's already a good sign.
Yeah,
it's 91. Sukkot is Gematria 91. And I, of course, live at 91 Rashi, so, tailor-made, what can I tell you? That's not why I moved there, but Sukkot has a tremendous pinius. What's the pinius of Sukkot, really, you know?
Very good.
Most people do not know what Sukkot is. The fundamental idea to remember, if you really want, you always have to begin from what's given. And then we can go into what's chidush. You know, what is given is that there is an agreement between the Jewish people and the Rabbi Shalom. And just what the Sukkot is. What is Sukkot? Why is there a holiday of Sukkot? Now we know what the Chazal say, because, either the Anonim, the clouds that covered Klal Yisrael, or they built huts in the Midbar, in the desert, but that itself, so why should that create a holiday, So the main idea is to remember in Sukkot is that there is an agreement between the Rabbi Shalom and Klal Yisrael. Very important. That started with Avram Avinu by the Bris Ben Absarim. That was really what happened. There's an agreement, right? What is that agreement? Is that Klal Yisrael is that somebody has to do the tikkun of the Bria to rectify creation. What is that? Somebody has to bring God back into creation. Now he's always here, except he's not seen. So somebody has to make him visible, right? Now the one who does that obviously is the Mashiach. That's the whole concept of Messianic era, where God again becomes visible. And not literally, but figuratively, right? Fine. But somebody has to, in order to do that, you have to have what's called a tikkun. A tikkun means that you have to rectify creation from a state in which the Rebbe is concealed to a state that he is revealed. That's tikkun. It's repair, restoration, rectification, and so on. Okay. The Russian really made that agreement with Adam Harishon. That's why he was called the Yisrael, not a Jew. Because the original job of tikkun was not Jewish. It had nothing to do with Judaism. The Russian gave it to mankind, which makes sense, right? Why create mankind if their whole meaning if it has no meaning? So originally, that's why Adam is called the Yisrael, not a Jew. Mm-hmm. Mankind had that job for 2,000 years.
Where is he called that?
What was that?
Where is he called that?
Who?
Adam is called Israel.
Because it says, in the second Rashi it says that the Roshim said, if Yisrael receives the Torah, good. If not, I will wipe out the world. Mm-hmm. Right? Or, right? It says, Rashi brings up, Yisrael. Right? Rashis, because it says Bereshis. So Rashi says Rashis is Yisrael, and therefore if Yisrael accepts the Torah, good. If not, not. Right? I'll wipe it out, right? So what do you mean Yisrael? The Jews came along. Avram Avinu was 52 years old when the world turned 2000. That means the world had known Yisrael for 2,000 years? That makes sense. So the truth is that Yisrael is anybody who can be masakin the Bria. How? By his acts. If he does acts, then he brings God closer. If he does Averis,
then he's Israel.
Then he pushes him out, so to speak, right? So Adam Rishon was Israel, but he was not Jewish. Because the original job was not all mankind to do the job. He failed, obviously. And the Moshe allowed mankind another 2,000 years to do it. They failed. Noach, they failed, destroyed the world, and then the Dor HaMidbar, the Aflaga, they also failed. So after that, he decided to do it to renegotiate, so forth, a contract with Avram Avinu. He was the only one doing the will of the Rebbe Shalom. That's the Bris Ben Absarim. That from now on, the job of tikkun is a Jewish job. The Jews took over the job of tikkun, and he took it away from mankind.
It came down to his family, to this one family.
Yeah, so the agreement went with Avram Avinu. It's a very important concept that it used to be with everybody, and now and there's a lot more to talk. Obviously, I'm just trying to get the Sukkot and so on. Fine. So that's the agreement with the Jewish. So the Tikkun now became a Jewish enterprise. That way, you know? Yeah, and we've been doing it for the last 4,000 years. The problem was, right? The problem is that so finally the Jews went to Egypt without getting into that, on Torah, and then the Jews did the Chet Egel. And the Chet Egel destroyed the contract because the Jews en masse, whatever, everybody was held guilty in whatever form they did. Some people worshipped the calf, other people allowed them to worship, without getting into what the Chet was. But obviously it was a national sin. So Moshe said, you guys broke my contract, and therefore it's over. And then Moshe Rabbeinu went to Shemayim to beg God not to kill the Jews, right? Moshe said, Enicho, leave me alone, and I will destroy them. But how you destroy them? You can't destroy them. Because they violated the contract, and Moshe said, no. Now, there's one idea you have to know, which is very important. That idea is the concept of a backup plan. The Russian decided, since man has free will, man can do what? Subvert God's will. Means if everybody sins 24/7, then God has no choice but to destroy the world. Mm-hmm. And God's will is that there should be an Olam Haba, a future world, right? A future world with people in it. So it's possible for man to frustrate the will of the Moshe. You see?
It's an awesome power when you think about it.
What?
The power of Bechir is an awesome power.
Yeah. But the Moshe decided before creation that he's going to give a backup plan, guaranteeing man is an Olam Haba. It guarantees there will be an Olam Haba. It guarantees that mankind will be in it. Now that guarantee is called Anhogas HaYichud. That's what the Ramchal calls it. It's called Anhogas HaYichud. It's the actions of the one who's above justice. Because backup plan is not part of justice.
That's the backup. Anhogas HaYichud
is the backup plan. Correct. Exactly. Now that was instituted at the beginning of creation. But who did it protect? Who did it guarantee? It guaranteed mankind. Mankind. Anybody. Didn't fall on anybody. You see? Okay. Very important concept. So when Adam sinned, he really should have been destroyed because he broke it. But God guaranteed, right? So Adam survived in that sense, and then mankind continued. Finally, you got to Avram Avinu, and he said to Avram Avinu, okay, I'm taking away the ability to do Tikkun, and I'm going to give it only to Avram Avinu. So the job of Tikkun became a Jewish enterprise. But I got that? What happened? But Avram Avinu was very, very bright. He says, wait a minute. You want to give me the Tikkun, you already gave the Tikkun to mankind, and they didn't do it, you wiped them out. You only want to give it to me, fine. You want to give it to my descendants, great. But if they sin, you're going to wipe them out too. Because the Anhogas HaYichud does not guarantee any specific nation, it just guarantees mankind has to exist. Mm-hmm. So Moshe said, okay, I will accede to your request. So Moshe said, I guarantee that the Jews will exist and survive and be in the Olam Haba. That's why, and how does what's the guarantee? Is Yisura, the suffering. That's why the Moshe went through the pieces, if you remember the Bris Ben Absalom, he went through as a flame fire, which is the mitzvahs, and as a smoking furnace, which Rashi says, Gehenna. Means either way I have to relate to the Jews. Either the mitzvahs as a fire, Shekhinah, or the Jews as a furnace, means Gehenna. I guarantee their existence. Even as what Avram Avinu did was astounding. That means he guaranteed the existence of the Jews through Anhogas HaYichud. It's no longer on mankind, it's on the Jewish nation.
Wow.
Right?
Ad Masa.
Oh. Now we get to, right? Very important concept, Anhogas HaYichud, because, anyway, then came Torah, the Kessin of the golden calf. What happened? Bad news. God said, I'll destroy them. But wait a minute. You can't destroy them. You just said that you guarantee the existence of the Jews. How do you destroy them? And the answer is, because the Moshe said to Moshe Rabbeinu, I will make you a great nation. which means forget about the Avos and Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov, the descendants of that. You will become an Av, and through you will come Klal Yisrael. See, so Moshe has an out.
But also Moshe was a descendant of the Avot.
No, of course, but now he could wipe out Klal Yisrael and keep Moshe Rabbeinu, because Moshe Rabbeinu will now become the Av and have Klal Yisrael.
Yeah, well, what happened to the agreement with the Rome of Venus?
She's
also descendant, that's the answer.
It was superseded by
but
the...
as long as there's one Jew left, then everything's okay.
He's a descendant of Abraham.
Yeah, so exactly, sure, yeah. So as long as there's one, no problem, right? So therefore, well, what did Moshe Rabbeinu said? Oh no, wipe me out, erase me from your Torah. What do you erase me from your Torah? That means Moshe Rabbeinu said, I do not accept that the Jewish nation should come out through me. Got it? So what was God going to do? He's got stuck. If they won't come through Moshe, then that's it. He can't destroy the Jews. And that's why the Moshe says the famous words that we say in Yom Kippur, Solachti kitvorecha. Based on your words, I have to forgive them. Because if you don't accept the Hanogas HaYichud, right, then I have no choice. I got to keep the Jews surviving.
Why? Because he was a Jew.
Yeah.
Because
No, the Moshe says, listen, I can destroy the Jews as long as there's one Jew left. And from him I can rebuild Klal Yisrael. But Moshe Rabbeinu said, no. Right? So Moshe said, Solachti kitvorecha. Based on what you said, therefore Solachti, I have to forget all the Jews. I mean, talk about a lawyer. But you want to be that kind of lawyer, you have to know what's going on. The contract, you have to know all the hashkafa. You have to know what to argue, So that was it. So that was the first 40 days. He went up first 40 days, and he gave the Moshe Rabbeinu I said no, and then Moshe Rabbeinu, okay, I forgive the Jews. Yeah, you forgive the Jews is one thing, but who says he's going to reinstate them? I'll forgive them.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, I won't destroy them. But still, and eventually, what's going to happen? You'll have kids, and eventually there will be Jews from you, Moshe. And of course, Moshe, So Moshe Rabbeinu went up the second time, he went up 3 times. Between Shivas B'Tammuz and Rosh Chodesh Elul.
That's his
He went up 3 times 40. 120 days came down, right? First time he went up on Zion, Sivan, above Sivan, to receive the Torah. Then he came down Shivas B'Tammuz, which was the Chet HaEgel, right? Then he went back from Shivas B'Tammuz until Elul. And there he asked Moshe to reinstate the agreement.
And that was the Torah?
To reinstate the contract,
Is that the Torah?
Meaning that they'll be on Segula.
Well, that Hanogas HaYichud should protect them, everybody again, and they should be back in the agreement of Tikkun.
What would be the tzad before that?
What?
Solachti kitvorecha means that they come back.
I won't
to
destroy
the
them.
Tikkun,
No.
So otherwise, why would he leave them? Hey, why would he leave them?
It's because I'll spare their lives, but between me and them, it's over. It's where the people come from.
Moshe went
Moshe
further.
Rabbeinu.
He said, no, that's not good enough.
Well, he said, no, don't kill them and leave me alone, and I'm the only survivor. So Moshe, okay, they'll survive, but I'll still do the agreement with you. I'll still work it through you. You know what I'm saying? But I won't kill them.
And the agreement is the Torah?
Well, the agreement is to do the
Sefer
Torah.
is the Torah.
That's the way you do the Tikkun. So Moshe Rabbeinu, right? So he went up the second time, and he prayed, and Moshe said, okay, I reinstate the contract. It's interesting. But Moshe Rabbeinu was very, very smart. He said, okay, what does a guy do if he puts his money in stocks and it went down? So they take some of the money and put it in another stock, hedges bets. So he said to Moshe, he was afraid Moshe would say, okay, I'll let Klal Yisrael do the Tikkun, but I'm going to give it to another nation also in case.
And that's the Sipur with all that?
What?
Moshe Rabbeinu and Klal Yisrael.
Yeah. So what Moshe Rabbeinu did, on the third time up, he prayed that Moshe should not give it to anybody else. And if you look, Rashi says, he asked the Moshe that the Moshe should not give a Shechina to any other nation. That means Klal Yisrael, and that's it. So Moshe was masking on Yom Kippur. So what he did was incredible zach. You see?
Some Kalrachim Machanan, right? This is where he introduced the arguments of mercy.
Yeah. So here's what Moshe Rabbeinu did. Until then, the Hanogas HaYichud was what? On all mankind, Ba'adam Rishon. Avram Avinu took it away from all mankind and did it on the Jewish people, right? But which Jewish people? The descendants of Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Not
And
Ishmael.
Moshe was going to wipe out the descendants of Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, just keep with Moshe Rabbeinu. And now he placed the entire thing back on
Back on a
Avram,
people.
Yitzchak,
Yeah.
Yaakov.
Yeah.
That means all Jews are now reinstated, and the Hanogas Yichud goes into that nation.
And that's what Avram Avinu, he made sure that it was through the Jewish people.
That's what he
again.
did.
Yeah.
But then Moshe took it away because of Chet HaEgel,
Yeah, yeah.
and he restored it. So it comes out that, and that's why the Anonim came back. The clouds came back on the 15th day of Tishrei, after Yom Kippur. And that signified that the clouds, which is the Anogas HaYichud, is now on all Jews again.
That's Sukkot.
So therefore, what happened is the reinstatement of the original contract, totally and permanently. And this is what Sukkot is. Sukkot is really an incredible simcha. Why? Because the Moshe reinstated the contract. And that's why simcha is such an incredible mitzvah on Sukkot. Where's the simon for that? Remember, a contract is always two sides, right? An agreement always has two sides. So which mitzvah is the sign of the Hanogas HaYichud, the guarantee backup?
Tzach.
Tzchach. That's why we're in a sukkah. The sukkah means that the Moshe will protect us, and we're out of the house. It's no matter where we go, any temporary abode, doesn't make a difference. The sukkah is the symbol of what? Of the Hanogas HaYichud on all the Jews. See, and now, and we recognize that because what's unique about sukkahs? Hoshana, save us, Manchu Boreinu, right? That's Hanogas HaYichud. That's why we say the Hoshana. See? So the sukkah is the sign that the Hanogas HaYichud is restored to Klal Yisrael. You see?
Wow.
And that's why the Gematria sukkah, besides being 91, is Gematria Yud Kei Vav Kei and Adni. Right? It's a Gematria of both Adni, Ado, and Yud Kei Vav Kei to indicate that the Yud Kei Vav Kei, which is always Rachamim, is now back on Klal Yisrael, that they are guaranteed. You know, either the way you write it or the way you sound it. Either way, Klal Yisrael is back into the guaranteed. Which means that every Jew is guaranteed to be in a Yidden couple. By hook or by crook, as they say. Either you do the mitzvahs, you do tshuva, or you have Yisura. That's what suffering is all about.
Every
To get
single
you to
Jew
the
will
mark.
come up by Techias Mason, every single Jew,
But yes,
even Rishonim.
everybody.
Yeah.
Because they will have to be in his galgal and suffer greatly. And that Yisura will remove and get them for Yom Kippur. You see? Any case. So that's
Moshe
his
Rabbeinu's
part.
Hiddush.
Wait, that's his part. Where's our part? And we'll do the mitzvahs. Right? That's the Arba Minim. That's what we do. We have a lulav, esrog, hadassim, and arovas, right? If you notice, the gematria of esrog is 610. And when you add the three minim, arovas, hashanas, the arovas and the hadassim and the, what do you call it, and the lulav, you add 3 to 610 is 613. So we hold that, those objects,
That's
which represents the Taryag mitzvahs, correct?
That's the contract.
That's the contract, and we wave it where? We don't just wave it. We wave it on all the sides. It means wherever you take us, we will observe the mitzvahs.
No.
See, that's why I say, up, down, side, back, front, back, doesn't make a difference. We will observe the mitzvahs, right? And when do we do that? In the Hallel. And Hallel is the mitzvah. We praise you. Ultimately, it's Hallel, we praise you, the Roshah.
That's the Amira that you say.
It's the Amira, while we move it around, that's our side of the agreement. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
See, that's why you have the two fundamental mitzvahs. Our side
Always.
and his side. You know what I'm saying? But wait a minute, that's our signature. In other words, what we say is we will do the mitzvahs no matter where you take us. Right? Right? And Hoshana, we recognize that you restored the guarantee back on us, and therefore we build the sukkah to indicate that the Moshe has done that. Yes? Yeah, but this is our contribution. Right? That's our signature. Where's his? Where's the Bonsham? No, it's not the sukkah. That's our belief. That's our understanding of what the contract says. Right? But our signature is the Lulav and Esrog. Where's his signature? And the answer is
Mine?
no. No, Nisach HaMayim. represents a Ruach HaKodesh that Kais will receive. This is all part of the agreement.
Okay, yeah,
You see?
yeah.
Nisa Chamayim, yeah, you can.
And then the ayin after that is like the.
You know where his
that's,
signature is? Shmini Atzeres. Shmini Atzeres is not Sukkot. You ever notice? You have to say Shechionu all over again.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, how did that get added on to Sukkot? Shmini Atzeres is a holiday by itself. Is it not? You have to say Shechionu. The
Hagla
last
Hashem.
days of Pesach you don't, because the last days of Pesach is still Pesach. But Shmini Atzeres is what?
Hagla Hashem.
It's Chag Hashem, right?
Yeah.
What does that mean? And there's no mitzvahs.
That's what it means.
There's no mitzvahs at all. You ever wonder why? What is it? We all got tired of the sukkah and we need a break? No, because that Shmini Atzeres is his signature. You see, that's the 8th day. And Olam Haba begins on the 8th day. 8,000 year. You see, that's why it's 8. 8,000 year begins the beginning of Olam Haba. That's his signature. So when you look at Sukkot, right, with Shmini Atzeres, it's the total reinstatement of the contract. You see, and that's why there's such unbelievable simcha. You see, it's basically the whole thing.
Just to go back.
Yeah, sure.
7,000 is Mashiach, 8,000 is
No.
Olam Haba.
200
First
years
6,000.
Kriyas HaMesim?
First 6,000 years is the tikkun, but the last period of the 6,000 is the Moshe Mashiach, where the tikkun is complete. You know, Messianic era is a very interesting time period. It's not Olam Haba, right? And everybody's still physical, but the Bosham, it's the last physical time in the physical universe where the amount of ha'ora is going to be beyond belief.
And that goes for 1,000 years.
No, that goes until 6,000. That means Mashiach has to come before 6,000, which we're 5,777.
So then what's between 6,000 and 8,000?
Oh, wait.
Okay.
Now, from 6, the world is destroyed. The world ends in the year 6,000, which is the English year 2240. The world is destroyed, and what happens then is that everything is lifted off the physical universe, right? And for 1,000 years, the world is desolate, which means the entire universe is desolate. Then, beginning of the 8,000th year, the world, the desolation now begins to become repaired. And then it takes 2,000 years, and the beginning of the 9th or 10,000th year, which is 9,001, Olam Haba begins forever. There's a reason Kabbalistically, but there's 4 levels. There's Asiya, there's Atzilus, Bria, Yitzira, and Atzilus. So the first Asiya represents the 6,000. Then the world is transformed into Yitzira, the 7,000th year. Then the world is transferred into Bria. See, it reverses.
And that becomes a reality at
And
each
then, right?
stage. Yeah.
And then the world is transferred to Atzilus. And then in the 9,000th year, it goes from Atzilus to what's called Adam Kadmon, which is Olam Haba. That's why it has to it regresses slowly back into its original Olam Haba.
And that's when it becomes the Metzias.
And that Olam Haba is forever.
So there's nobody.
Anyway, that's the
There's
short
nobody in
story.
Olam Haba now.
What?
There's no one in Olam Haba now. There's no one in.
No, you know what Olam Haba is?
It's now, right now.
This is Olam Haba. Yeah. But Olam Haba has been transformed into Olam Hazeh. The job that they do is Zikoch, is we have to dematerialize this world. You see? And that takes 3,000 years. So we dematerialize this world from Asiya into Yetzirah, which was the world of Adam Harishon. Then we dematerialize the world of Yetzirah into Bria. Then we dematerialize but from Yetzirah on it's all Ruchni. But the Ruchni is much worse. As you go up, it becomes more and more spiritual. And finally we dematerialize Bria into Atzilus. And that's, without getting into that, and that's the last of the worlds of Olam Hazeh, even Atzilus. And then we dematerialize Atzilus into what's called Adam Kadmon, primordial man, which is Olam Haba.
Where
That's
does
why it takes.
Techias and Mason play? Because we have bodies there.
What was that?
Where's Techias and Mason
Tchiyah
play?
Mason takes place right after Mashiach comes. Mashiach ben David,
So
not
where,
ben Yosef.
where are all the righteous souls now? Like of Tzaddikim.
Gan Eden.
You're in Gan Eden.
Gan Eden is a holding place.
It's a buffer.
It's a holding place. Why? Because really the Bereshit wants everybody to have his body back. So what happens is as you dematerialize the universe, you dematerialize your physical body. Yeah. It gets clearer and clearer until it resembles just a complete, transparent, thin form around the neshama. Yeah, everybody will have that type of body, which is completely ruchni, but it's not the neshama in olam haba. So this is basically what's going to happen.
So Chag Simchatenu,
I just wanna-
we are reinstating our agreement that we're part of the eternal people, which was promised to the Avot.
Correct. Yeah. So that's what Yiddish Sukkot is all about. You see, it's a whole different yontif.
Yeah.
It's too bad that most people are not aware. They have no idea so they think it's because of the anonym, but then the clouds, and because of the huts that they built in Midbar. Why would we make a holiday for that? What's significant about that? Because that represents the protection that the Moshe gives Klal Yisrael, which was removed, reinstated, and now we're back in business.
So even then, it wasn't just a hut for them. It was what you're explaining now. That
Yeah,
it was
of course,
that
they
they were
must have
aware.
gone
They
wild.
were there. They knew. They understood.
I mean, on the Tishrei, that's what Tishrei, they must have gone wild because first of all, they weren't destroyed. They were back in the agreement, right? And so on. But it was incredible that they were the only ones that had the agreement. They didn't give it with any other nation.
Yeah.
He stuck with the Jews.
It's a guarantee for every single year.
Every single year. Isn't that incredible? And that's one of the reasons why in Rosh Hashanah, you ever notice Rosh Hashanah doesn't make any sense? Why? Rosh Hashanah to us is a Yom Tov, a holiday. If a man is being judged to live or die, you think he's going to go and put out his best food and start celebrating? It's completely contrary to what's happening. Do you ever notice?
Here come the judge.
Yeah, but imagine the guy's got to go to court if he's going to live or die, right? So they adjourn, for that a couple of hours. He goes home and he puts out his best food, and he makes kiddush. It's a whole simcha. He's got family over. Excuse me, this kind of behavior is completely incompatible with the fact that you are now on trial of your life. You ever notice there's something wrong here? Mm-hmm. The answer is because we know we're guaranteed anyway. You see. So we know it'll work out then. Of course, we're nervous because guarantee means you can be guaranteed with a lot of yisurin, a lot of suffering, because you didn't do the mitzvahs. But in the end, we'll be in Olam Haba, right? That's why the Jews can celebrate even though they're being judged. It's like they rigged the jury. You know what I'm saying? Like rigged the jury, They paid everybody off and they know. It's still nervous because you're in a court of law and there are all kind of reporters there, You're still nervous. But in the end, we know we rigged the jury. And that's the whole concept. That's what the Medrash means. When you see that the Jews going out with his lulav and esrog, they won a mishpah. They won. You see? Why? You see? Because of the guarantee. Guarantee was everything. Listen, that's why the Jews cannot be destroyed. It's impossible. Nobody understands. One of the greatest proofs. Who was the one who held that? That was the main proof that the Jews are eternal. With the many famous statements. Tolstoy said that. Mark Twain came in with a famous statement. He doesn't understand how do the Jews still exist.
Yeah.
I mean, they're nobody in number. The Jews are less than 1/4 of 1% of the world's population. Yet they never, not only they don't cease to exist. 1/3 of all Nobel laureates are Jews.
What you said
How
about
could
Putin.
less than 1/4 of 1% of the world's population, 1/3 are Jew of the Nobel Prize is Jews. It's unheard of.
We just got another.
That's
one.
why everybody is. What? Did they?
Dylan got
Who?
Dylan.
Who?
Bob Dylan for literature.
Bob Dylan?
Yes.
Yeah. But
Put that in with
Robert
Trump
Zimmerman,
and all.
Yeah.
Oh yes, he's
Sure.
Jewish, sure. He got the Nobel Prize
For
Which
literature.
one?
For his
Literature.
Oh, his music.
For his poetry of his music.
It's
of
literature.
songs, literature.
Nobel Prize for
He
literature.
does.
And you know what? He didn't answer the call. He did not answer the call.
So
He
did he go
hasn't.
to the ceremony?
We don't know yet. He's not paying any attention to it.
Why?
He's probably embarrassed to stand up there with Hussein and Obama and
Obama got
and
a huge-
Yasser Arafat. They also got the Nobel Prize.
He's celebrating with Hakim right now. He doesn't want to pick up the phone.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, down the cost.
Bob Dylan, wow. It was, the prize is $1 million, you know that.
Oh, no.
Oh, it's not the prize, the
I
money.
know just the cover.
He doesn't need the money.
What?
Maybe
I
he
know,
doesn't need the money.
probably
He was about true for a while.
Yeah.
Maybe he still is.
Is he? I don't know. I
Yeah,
think he
sure.
was. And he's not.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the premise of Sukkot. They got that? There's a lot more, but
Yeah, good quite.
I gave you the gist, Well,
Wow,
It's amazing how people Sameach, the simple Shiva, they have no idea what the Simcha is. I mean, because it says V'samachta b'chakecha, that's true.
Ach Sameach.
Ach Sameach, V'yisach Sameach, and so on. They have no idea what it really is. I hold it's terrible that a Jew does not know what is Yom Tov are about. And the problem and the reason for that is because they don't learn Hashkafa. They don't learn Hashkafa. So how would they know anything about their religion?
Unbelievable.
A Jew knows very little about his religion.
Yeah.
Very little. It's astounding how much they know about really, what all the Yom Tovim are. The whole concept of agreement with the Bansham, that it was Adam was Yisrael, you see, and so on.
Yeah.
I always joke around when I say that every Jewish holiday is based on an event.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Pesach, Yitzis, Mitzrayim, every one. What's Rosh Hashanah based on? Interesting. Even Yom Kippur is based on the event of Moshe coming back, right?
Uh-huh.
What's Rosh Hashanah based on?
Yeah, well,
Adam Rishon was born.
Brias Olam. But that's not an event for us. That's mankind.
Adam Rishon was born.
What?
Adam Rishon was born.
Yeah, so what? He's not Jewish.
well, that's it. That's
Who cares?
That's a good riot for that.
That's a good riot.
Because Adam Rishon, you know why? Because Rosh Hashanah is an Israeli holiday.
It's an Israeli.
Because Adam Rishon was a Yisrael, right? Remember I told you he wasn't Jewish because in the beginning it wasn't intended just to give to Jews. He was an Israeli. So Rosh Hashanah is an Israeli holiday.
And the whole world is Israeli.
Everybody laughs when I say that. But they don't understand that, that he was Israel. So it's an Israeli holiday. It's not a Jewish holiday, it's Israeli. Anyway, it's cute. Okay.